Hey guys, this is Kirob speaking, and today we are in the Unreal version of Automation, and this is the first little dev update about it and the next development phase. So, what is in store for you guys? Well, first of all, I need to mention a little bit about our timeline. As you know, with the Light Campaign V2 update, it has been quite a bit delayed. Although the Light Campaign V2 turned out a lot more awesome than we initially planned to have it, it does its job really well, I think, for what it is supposed to be. Nothing more, nothing less, but it offers a lot of fun with some very harsh limitations to the game. But anyway, we all hope that you are having fun with the Light Campaign, and while you are at that, let's take a look at what is coming up in Automation. Porting Automation to Unreal 4 is a thing which we also do in steps, and the very first step will be mainly focused on getting a new foundation for all the data we handle. So we switch around the whole data handling system from a Lua table-based system, which is really slow, to a SQL-based system, which is pretty fast. So proper databases for all the data of cars and stuff. Nothing I can show you here, but it is already working. All the data is now stored in a database and being called from there as well. And all the cars, including the competitions cars, will be all in a massive database, which offers very nice features to handle its data, to delete data, to extract data quickly, to build averages and whatnot. All kinds of stuff which we really need in the game. But that is something I can't really show you because it's behind the scenes. What isn't behind the scenes, obviously, is, well, the engine designer. And that is the first big step once the fundamentals are all completed. So here we have a little engine sitting, which I've already built. Please be aware that this version is not really running well, and it may even crash because currently we have a pretty nasty problem which we need to fix, with some threading issues coming in the way of other threads, and then it just nukes the whole computer. So that's of course not supposed to happen. But anyway, I want to show you a few little things, and as you can spot here in the list, there's a boxer in here. Yeah, there are boxer engines. Yes, they are obviously coming. One thing that is still missing in this list here is the inline 5, which will be in the game. And this will be just as easy to do as all the other blocks now that they are very, very modular. What can I show you here? Well, they're just the these are all new assets, by the way. And of course, the room is all new and shiny. You've seen that in the previous little dev updates, Unreal dev updates. So nothing new for you here, I guess. But let me show you a few of the modular approaches which we have, which you can spot here. So basically, an inline 3 is an end piece, and one middle piece. An inline 4 has 2 middle pieces, and an inline 6 has, of course, 4 middle pieces. Of course, they are not only the inline versions of the engine, but also the Boxer, which I can't show you right now because this is a completed engine, and Boxer engines don't yet work with completed engines. But I could show you the block if I make a new one, and I will do so just after walking through these. And this should come to a pleasant surprise. Well, we have the V6s. This is basically the only engine type which is fully done in this version of Automation right now. But take a look at this. So this is a normal V6, and this is a V690, and because of the modularity of our new systems, this is possible without additional work or very, very minor adjustments. Equally, we can make a V8 with 60-degree angle, and that indeed will be the case in the game. So you will be able to choose what angle for your V you want. That is not the case for a V10, which we have here. And it still has the wrong exhaust, obviously, because this one only really exists in 72-degree angle. Let's see, is there a difference here between the oh well, the V12 obviously is a different angle. No, currently it's using the same angle, but this will change, I guess. 72 degrees is the optimal angle for V10s. Then we have V12s, as you know, the 60-degree angle, and V16s. massive boat of an engine. And yes, V16s are coming to the game. We still need to work out how exactly we are delivering them to you guys without pissing off people. I guess there's no way around it, because we made a promise back in the day that V16 engines are exclusive until the release of the game. And they will be exclusive to those who pre-ordered a long time ago, who got the premium package. So what we did is classify the V16s as DLC on the Steam store, so that it can be distributed via Steam and given to the people who actually should have it, and they can access it on Steam via the code, the free key, which we give them via their old forum account. And other people will have to wait until release. That will piss people off, but that is the only way. We cannot break our promises regarding this engine type, and we would hate to break our promise. So it is just fair and square in that sense, but people will be pissed anyway. So nothing you can do about it, I guess. Internet and stuff. So, yep, V16s are coming to the game as well. We are not quite sure when they will be done, but I hope they will make it even into this version, this next update. We are not sure about this though. The V10s are definitely coming, that is for certain. And then of course we have the flat plane. Oh, yeah, okay, here's the different angle. Flat plane, 60 and... Oh, okay. No, they are currently a little bit wrong. So it should be a 90-degree flat plane and a 60-degree flat plane. All this, of course, isn't done yet. But let's switch over to the engine that actually is done and have a look at this one. And apart from a few missing textures, as you can see there, it's already looking pretty nice overall. So, yep, just as I showed you in the last Unreal Dev update, this is coming along just nicely. But we were talking about timeline before, and, well, obviously the release won't be coming for Christmas, but we do have a massive milestone for Christmas. And this milestone will not be in form of a release, but rather internally for us. And that is, until Christmas we want to have the whole engine designer done, and all the fundamentals needed for the car designer and all the other things done and ready to build upon. So expect more updates about the progress on the engine designer and just in general what kind of problems we are running into while developing this new version of the game. But there's one thing I really want to show to you which will make you super happy. So this stuff is all kind of working. The calculations are the exact same as we used in the old engine designer, so this is not the revamped version of the engine designer. But something that people noticed in the last video where I showed our new intakes was that conceptually they were at least partially wrong. The higher performance parts needed to be shorter in general than the low-end performance parts, and that is true. Apart from one special case where you actually can choose. The race version could either be very short or very long, depending on what kind of resonance you're going for. Both make sense, but usually the shorter version is chosen because it's less complicated and has much less packaging problems with it. And let's take a look at these new fuel systems. So these are all done for the V6, and they have been revamped since the last video. And look how shiny and nice this looks. This is so pretty. And let's take a look here. So single, low end. As you can see here, low end is actually really long. Has long snorkels coming out here so that you get and a pretty drastic bend. So, well, the slow air doesn't really care about these rough bends. So that's all fine, but the resonances travel forth to the plenum's chamber, and then you have the super long snorkel on top of that. And yeah, that's the low-end setup. The standard one is a compact setup, which gives you neither big bonuses nor disadvantages. The low-end one gives you really good low-end economy because of the added Helmholtz resonance in there. And then we have the mid-range, you should see is getting a little shorter and a little bit more flowy. So straighter, a little bit less bent pipes. Then we have the performance setup, which is even straighter and about the same length. And then we have the race setup, which just becomes more awesome. And this is all looking shiny. Yes, it is. And then we have the variable, which is this one, as variable length intake manifold. And then, of course, for the twin, there's also plenty of options there. There is no low end or standard, but rather the only thing you get if you go for twin here is starting in the mid-range. So these options will just disappear, and the list box is not dynamic yet. And then we have the performance one and the race one. And this is the one I showed you in the previous video as well. And I don't know if there's a variable one. No, there isn't. Okay, throttle per cylinder. We don't have a standard one, of course, and no low end. Who would do a throttle per cylinder low end? We have a mid-range, which is very straight piping straight into the plenum chamber. And then the performance one, which is pretty racy, basically trumpets going into the two plenum chambers. The race, yeah, that's the one you remember from the last video. And variable? Do we have a variable? No. Anyway, so that's basically it. You see the variations in here. They are modeled much more accurately now, and we have gone for the short version of the race possibility here. You could have very, very long trumpets, like I said, to scavenge for the intake resonance, which is at lower frequency. It gives a much bigger boost to your high end in that case, but the packaging is just horrible. Okay, so that's it. But I have one more thing to show to you, which is probably to some of you even more awesome. Let me just do like this. And now I hope the game doesn't crash because of one of the bugs we have in there. But bear with me. So this is a very, very racy setup for an engine. And if we go here and activate the graphs, oh yeah, the graphs. This is all preliminary, no worries, it looks shit. This is just a proof of concept. So you have the flow bench, the RPM and torque, and like what your limits are and so on. Just the stress. It is separated into the categories, which makes sense. So flow is now not to be confused with actually stress of the components, and this will help a lot in the revamp of the engine designer. But for the RPM and torque, this is basically what we had before. It's just looking shit like now because we don't have any icons and stuff. And this engine, let me take a look. We can manually rev it if it doesn't crash. This engine is immensely powerful. It has 100... Yeah, it's a 1600 cc engine, and it produces 152 kilowatts. That is an extremely high power density we have here, and it's very racy. Let's take a look at what happens. Oh, we can get rid of, let's take a look, the head maybe, and maybe even the block. And now let's rev it up. Look, they are glowy. They're glowy, and now they're stuck forever. Forever glowing. Now they're reset. Alright, so yes, glowing exhaust for extremely high energy density engines. And that is, of course, a pretty much requested feature which people thought like, this would be so awesome, but probably never going to happen. No, it's going to happen. It's already in here, and it's really cool. Anyway, I think this is all I can show you for now, apart from maybe, yeah, you do have the option of different graphs. They all need to be worked on a little bit more. So basically the only thing I promised you to show to you, which I didn't do yet, is the Boxer engines. Look, they already have blocks. Isn't it nice? It's our tiny Boxer 4. And of course you can make them huge as well. Tiny Boxer 4 and not so tiny Boxer 6. And the only thing left to say is, hope you enjoyed and see you guys next time.